Yeah, the next SCP is 2546, a retroviral nightmare.
Oh,
Not
that
it.
sounds fun.
Not
Not
it.
it.
I was
Right, it's your turn.
yeah, I was already gonna read it. Jesus,
Well, read it now, but by force.
fuck you. Anyways, item SCP-2546, object class Keter. Special Containment Procedures SCP-2546-1 through 600 are stored in a standard BSL-3 facility within Site-234. All work with the samples is carried out in appropriate BSL-3 personnel, protective equipment, and conditions. Personnel assigned to work with 2546 samples should have a minimum of 5 years of experience working with retroviruses, of both anomalous and non-anomalous nature. Requests for creation of additional aliquots are subject to level 4 review.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what that fucking means.
You could always Yahoo it. I am going to start my laundry very quick.
Alright, want me to continue?
Uh, you can. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Alright. In the event of accidental exposure, affected individuals are to be placed on antiretrovirals and monitored for changes in cell surface receptors, genetic markers, bloodstream hormone levels, and behavioral patterns. Should affected individuals begin displaying any physical or mental alterations consistent with 2546 infection, they are to be placed under level 2 humanoid quarantine. Once an infected individual's viral load has fallen below infection thresholds, they are to receive minor plastic surgery and comprehensive Class C amnestic treatment. Alright, so hold on. Let me look at Class C. Class C, Targeted Retrograde. Class C amnestics are used in conjunction with high fidelity neuroimaging and transcranial stimulation. Neuroimagers will locate the specific memory engrams within the subject's brain, and upon reaching those specific engrams, the amnestics will be activated through the use of precise, non-invasive stimulation, typically ultrasound or magnetic fields. The benefit of Class C amnestics is that they allow for the surgically precise removal of memories regardless of when they formed, and are ideal for expunging classified data from the minds of D-Class personnel and neutralize humanoid SCPs prior to their release. The major drawback of Class C amnestics is the required equipment's lack of portability. As such, Class C amnestics are most efficiently administered at Foundation sites, though mobile amnestic field clinics are currently under development. Alright, that's Class C amnestics.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the event of an outbreak, MTF G7 Plague Tamers are to be deployed in Protocol Anthrolinty 5 enacted. Due to the slow activating nature of 2546, infections may not be detectable or become apparent until several weeks following exposure. Containment of infection following exposure, especially if 2546 instances corresponding to existing Foundation personnel, is of the highest priority. Individuals exposed to 2546 strains corresponding to high-ranking Foundation employees should be monitored closely by medical personnel. When these individuals fall below the infectious threshold, they are to be briefed on their current situation and offered facial reconstruction and employment in a post of their choosing. Alright, so Protocol Anthrolinty 5. Protocol Anthrolinty 5 is composed of a series of quarantine steps designed to contain and destroy outbreaks of 2546. This protocol is composed of the following measures: identification and isolation of known infected individuals, isolation of individuals known to have exchanged body fluids with infected individuals, analysis of local water supplies and blood banks for presence of 2546, chlorine purge of contaminated water supply and destruction of contaminated blood packs, minor reconstructive plastic surgery, broad spectrum treatment with Class C amnestics, and introduction of viable background following viral clearance. Release and dissemination of false information regarding the disappearance of infected individuals, reintegration of infected individuals into normal society. Foundation reconnaissance personnel identifying any individual consistent with the description of point of interest 25%.
Right, you're
Huh?
cutting out a bunch.
God damn it. I fucking hate Discord. Anyways, Foundation reconnaissance personnel identifying any individual consistent with the description of point of interest 2546-A are to learn MTF Chi-7 and Tau 9 bookworms. Attempt to capture and or neutralize point of interest 2546-A are to observe utmost caution. Description: SCP-2546 is the collective designation for 600 identified and unknown number of unidentified anomalous retroviruses. All 2546 instances are retroviruses of the genus Lentiviridae and are structurally similar to other retroviruses within the group, especially HIV. All 2546 have a capsid 720 nanometer in diameter, 6 times as large as HIV's, and are capable of binding to the surfaces of all cells within the human body, regardless of cell surface profile. 2546 primarily spreads in the wild through sexual/intimate contact and or accidental bloodstream exposure, making person-to-person spread primarily limited to sexual partners. Unlike other viruses, both anomalous and non-anomalous, 2546's primary function is not only to propagate itself, but also to alter its host. 2546 genome is thus quite large and codes for an additional 34 proteins, which perform its primary anomalous effect. 2546 anomalous effect begins upon infection of a single cell within the host's body. Upon entry, the virus makes its way to the center of the cell where it begins shedding its protein shell. 2546 will then proceed to dismantle the existing chromosomes, utilizing 34 proteins to unwind, destroy, and replace the host chromosome, utilizing the denatured particles as building blocks. It is unclear how exactly these proteins are able to synthesize and organize these new chromosomes without a template. However, thorough analysis has pinpointed several repeated sequences/structures which are unique to each virus and may be related to this process. The average time between initial infection and chromosome replacement is estimated to be between 3 to 5 days. This rate increases exponentially as more viral particles are introduced. Altered cells reproduce virus continuously for a period of 3 months, at the end of which they become impermeable to further infection with the same virus. 2546 primarily spreads throughout the body via the immune system, where it takes advantage of the close proximity necessary for immune cells to fulfill their functions, and by proxy prevents the host immune cells from negatively reacting with cells possessing replaced chromosomes. As a direct result of 2546's chromosome replacement, infected individuals are subject to a long, painful, and severely distressing transformation, wherein, on the genetic, physical, and mental levels, they undergo complete transmogrification into the corresponding person. It should be noted that the transformed individuals are only able to recall the correspondence memories to a certain point. This point is believed to be the moment at which said individual's chromosomes were harvested. Research investigating possible similarities in mechanism with SCP-2009 is pending approval. This transformation's length varies based on the viral load that the individual was originally exposed to, ranging anywhere from 1 to 10 years. Symptoms of infection vary from individual to individual, and many may not be noticeable immediately due to the lengthy reproductive cycle of each virus. However, some of the more notable symptoms are detailed below. Alterations of skeletal structure, including loss/gain of height, increase/decrease in muscle mass and fat content, muscle ache/fatigue, sharp and/or chronic pain in the bones, progression/reduction of aging, may or may not be physically noticeable dependent on the infected party's age and corresponding virus. Physical dissociation/loss of sense of self, changes in skin pigmentation, behavioral alterations/personality shifts/changes in preferences, slow loss of personal memories and gradual gain of the corresponding person's memories. X-ray crystal structure analysis of the virus capsid has revealed a number of molecular structures resembling thaumaturgical symbols. Foundation thaumaturgy experts have identified 32 symbols, except in -1, where only 2 symbols are present associated with memory and personality, which are currently believed to be the proximal mechanisms by which the virus induces memory and personality changes in the host. These symbols appear to have no biological function and are most likely engineered into the virus's structure. Changes to internal organs affecting their function, hormone level fluctuations, reproductive organ alterations, confusion, disorientation, and ability to recognize themselves and/or significant cognitive dissonance. In rare cases, death due to internal trauma. SCP-2446 was first discovered by Foundation personnel, implanted amongst Redacted University Local Medical Center. Kyle Redacted, officially dubbed Patient Zero, came to the center seeking medical treatment for a variety of symptoms now known to be associated with 2546. Warning: attempted access detected. Protocol HIPAA DNA 442 has been primed. Security clearance level 4 required. Interconnections. Mission recognized. Protocol HIPAA DNA 42 deactivating. Due to SCP-2446 anomalous properties, information regarding the origin of each virus chromosomes are kept behind high-level security clearance. It is necessary to safeguard Site-234 personnel, in addition to preventing the creation of additional high-ranking Foundation personnel from which information might be extracted by antagonistic GOIs. Following each outbreak, a high-ranking Foundation official has been the target of short, cryptic, and threatening messages centering around hatred of the Foundation and its operations, or the loss of children. The majority of personnel who have received such messages were either direct correspondence with the outbreak or will later be connected to future outbreaks. A complete list of these personnel has been compiled and is available upon request. All attempts to identify the person of interest behind the 2546 outbreaks have failed, as the individual displays explicit mastery of covering their electronic trail. The following table comprises a small portion of the 600 or so variants discovered and described by the Foundation at this time. To access the full list, please contact Site-234 Dr. Sherry or Leap Andrews. Alright. Variant designation: -1. Chromosome origin: and redacted 20-year-old student at Redacted University, prominent member of the sorority Delta Delta Delta. Alright, patient 0, Kyle Redacted 21-year-old agent, 20-year-old student at Redacted University, prominent member of the fraternal organization Alpha Tau Omega. Outbreak description: Kyle Redacted began displaying symptoms of 2546 infection after an intermittent period of exposure. It should be noted that Mr. Redacted was unwilling to reveal the day upon which he engaged in initial intimate contact with Miss Redacted. At time of containment, Mr. Redacted had lost 27.2 kilograms in weight and 22 centimeters in height. Mr. Redacted was also known to have begun development of breast tissue. Investigation into all recent contact with Mr. Redacted led to detection of high levels of virus in Mr. Redacted. It is now believed that all subsequent variants were engineered from Ms. Redacted, and as such, she is currently being held under indefinite quarantine within Site 234. No message was found. Alright, Variant 16, Chromosome Origin, Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan and 5th Khangan of the Mongol Empire. Patient 0, redacted. Initial outbreak resulted in a short border skirmish between countries of... How the fuck do I say these two countries?
What?
Kyrgyzstan and
Pakistan.
Tajikistan.
Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan before G7 was able to contain 153 infected individuals, 68 civilians, and an estimated 15 military personnel were killed during the fighting, including 23 children. The incident was covered up as a training exercise, simulating a land war in Asia, and a number of casualties blamed on the mistaken use of live ammunition rather than blank rounds. A message received by Dr. Sherry Andrews 3 days after the outbreak was contained. How much is normalcy worth? Will you sacrifice your children to survive? Will you watch them turn before your eyes? Alright. Variant number 74. Chromosome origin current United States Senator Bernie Sanders.
Wait, what?
Patient 0, Rachel Nguyen, 7-year-old daughter of Foundation Level 2 researcher Laren Nguyen. Outbreak was limited to one individual. Miss Nguyen expired 3 months after infection due to massive internal trauma. The outbreak is now believed to have been a failed attempt to neutralize Mr. Nguyen based on his research into the use of physics to harness thaumaturgy. Message received via text message by all members of O5 Council 2 days following the containment of the outbreak. It is a shame she had to die. A little slip of my needle, and there she went. Did you watch as the light left her eyes? Of the 5, multiples of 3 are available to me.
What the fuck kind of asshole says that?
That the virus tried to turn a 7-year-old into Bernie Sanders. But because it was trying to turn a 7-year-old into a full-grown man, she died. What the fuck is this article?
Variant number 259. Chromosome origin 05-3. Patient 0, redacted. Foundation plants within the Chaos Insurgency reported the capture and imprisonment of 053 at a known CI stronghold, a joint assault between MTF Alpha 1, Red Right Hand, MTF Nu 7, Hammer Down, and MTF G7, Plague Tamers, was able to penetrate the facility and recover 053. Recovery of an infected individual became impossible when they revealed a small-scale nuclear device attached to their waist, informing the rescue force that it would be detonated upon removal and could be activated remotely. Indenting medical operative George Redacted was able to draw 3 vials of blood from the individual before all 3 MTs successfully evacuated. An estimated 1,300 Chaos Insurgency personnel were incinerated in the blast. As is received by Site 91 senior staff, year leaders think themselves invincible, untouchable, even they can't avoid thought itself. Variant 343, Chromosome Origins, Nuru Jua, Site 91 Director, Head of Containment for SCP-2559. chromosome, patient 0. 3 unknown individuals, identities unknown, not in Foundation gene banks. The outbreak was first discovered when 3 individuals appeared in the cities of New York, Tokyo, and Beziers. All 3 individuals were in the mid stages of 2546 infection, with disproportionately sized limbs and pigmented patches of skin following their appearance. 2559 breach containment resulting in 540 casualties. MTF G7, Beta 7, MTF Epsilon 4 sugar pill were deployed to each location and successfully contained 2559. Dissemination teams accredited the deaths to the particularly virulent strain of influenza. Messages received by Dr. Shirley Gillespie. You keep so many secrets from them, yourself, and even your son. Do they really matter? Virus variant 445. Chromosome origin. Dr. Ralph Roget. Patient 0, 15 individuals. Identities unknown due to complete transformation. SCP-2546-445 was discovered upon Dr. Roget's return to his apartments in Site 77 following an extended stay at Site 19 on October 5th, 2016. Upon entry to his apartment, Dr. Roget reported feeling uneasy, at which point he began consciously exploring the residence with weapon drawn. As Dr. Roget moved through the apartment, he discovered a number of body parts which had been severed using surgical instruments, including heads, limbs, and genitalia, which belonged to individuals he recognized as physically identical to himself. Blood samples from these appendages revealed the presence of 445. Text message received by Dr. Roget shortly after full exploration of his residence. They so wanted to come home, they fell to pieces when they learned they couldn't. Variant 542, Dr. Leap Andrews, co-director of Site 234. Is the chromosome origin. Patient 0, sadly redacted 8-year-old daughter of Miss and Mr. Redacted, close friends of Site 234's co-director Sherry and Leap Andrews. Foundation personnel became aware of 542's existence when the entire administration of Site 234 received an email containing a link to an anonymously hosted video sharing site from what is now believed to have been a dummy account. This link connected to a time-lapse video 20 minutes and 15 seconds long of Sally Redacted being inoculated with an 2546 variant by a masked figure. Detailed analysis of each frame by Foundation video specialists have revealed several characteristics about the masked figure as described in the following section. And subsequently transforming into Dr. Andrews. The video is of particular note in that it would return to a normal time frame to display particularly graphic and or disturbing portions of the transformation, including the development of genitalia and heightened vocalizations of pain. Unlike Miss Nguyen, Miss Redacted is seen to endure the entire transformation without expiring. Miss Redacted's fate is currently unknown. A vial of blood containing 542 arrived on Dr. Andrews' desk the following day. Message attached to the email. As my daughters faded in my arms, the stars above danced in bright flames and lights, screaming to right that which was wronged. No more will Miss Sally remember them as her parents, but they will remember how you let her perish. And the final variant, 600. Chromosome origin, Site 234, co-director Sherry Andrews. Patient 0, 34 individuals, all members of the University of Alabama's redacted fraternity, who were believed to have disappeared in a boating incident 2 years before. The outbreak was discovered when Dr. Sherry Andrews emerged from her home on the morning of December 6, 2016, wherein she became aware of all 19 deceased and 15 near-death infected infected individuals mounted on the Andrews front lawn. Each individual had been nailed in the hands and ankles to an enlarged wooden version of the Foundation's emblem. All 34 were noted to be in the various phases of infection, with 2 instances having completely transformed before, one of whom was still alive at the time of appearance. Security footage from the outdoor cameras around the residence is not notable, and that the emblems did not appear until exactly 30 seconds before Dr. Andrews opened the door. Message written in blood on the grass: "Bleed for me." Update: August 11th, 2017. Due to the events surrounding the discovery of 2546-542, Foundation analysts are now pursuing leads regarding a specific physical description as of the current iteration of this document. Point of interest 2546-A is believed to possess the following characteristics: female, long blonde hair, physical scarring on the hands and lower arms due to severe burns of an unknown nature, slim to medium build. Cross-referencing the anomalies bearing similar properties to 2546 and persons matching description given have returned an incident involving an isolated outbreak of 2009. The outbreak was noted to be unusual in that it occurred in an isolated portion of the Pacific Northwest, and that only 2 individuals were infected, 2 young children. Foundation personnel were alerted when a woman matching the given description attempted to call for an ambulance. All information regarding the identity of this individual has since been removed by unknown means. The individual is estimated to be anywhere from 18 to 14 years of age, and is believed to possess a number of powerful thaumaturgical abilities, advanced knowledge of computing systems, and biomolecular engineering techniques far beyond even the most advanced Foundation research facilities. Due to person of interest 2546-A's engineering of 2546, it's extremely likely that they have created further instances of themselves and thus are not working alone. It's also highly likely that person of interest 2546-A no longer retains her original form, as her engineering prowess would allow her to create viruses lacking the memory and personality.
Bright, you're cutting out again.
Oh my god! Discord needs to fix his fucking voice channel problems. Alright. It's also highly likely that person of interest 2546-A no longer retains her original form, as her engineering prowess would allow her to create viruses lacking the memory and personality altering features of the viruses discovered to date. Thus far, person of interest 2546-A has presented no demands and offered no reasoning as to the continued harassment of Foundation personnel. The individual is believed to use a retrovirus to achieve her intended aims, emulating the pain of watching loved ones lose their identities right in front of them. Based on the duration of the pain associated with 2546's effects, how she chooses to assess her targets is not known, though her perceived mental instability could indicate that there is no pattern to her choices, only that she seeks to induce suffering in those she perceives as responsible for the loss of her children. So this woman just went to war with the Foundation.
And her weapon of choice is a virus that turns people into other people.
I think that person, honestly, I think that person is an asshole. Well,
Yeah.
think about it.
To
They've
say the
done all
least.
these horrible things, and then they're just like, yeah, it's your fault. No, no, no.
Yeah,
That's not how it works, bitch.
yeah, also it states in the article only 600 confirmed, which means there's probably more.
Yeah.
I can't not hate them. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. So, where the fuck do we put this?
I know.
I would say.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it probably wouldn't be certain groups, mainly because it looks like it spreads like wildfire if left
Well,
untended.
it's not that it spreads like wildfire. It spreads at the average rate of any other STD. The
Yeah.
thing is that it's being purposefully implanted in people by what is effectively a serial killer with
Mm-hmm.
an absurd amount of reach.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree that certain group doesn't feel right, but like that's where we put like most
I,
other
I
um
don't like putting that under certain groups, especially since she did shit like basically live stream some child's like suffering for funsies. Like you
I-
couldn't prevent this, ha ha ha.
well, I mean that wasn't the I don't think that was a child in that case, but like
I believe it was, and
Yeah.
they said
I
it was in fact a child. Only this time they did not die, and they do not know where the child is
Yeah,
now.
patient zero was Sally Redacted, 8-year-old daughter of Miss and Mrs. Redacted.
oh damn, okay, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but like the reason why I'm saying that I don't like normally like with most other like serial killer-esque
Mm-hmm.
SCPs that we've done, I put it into a certain group
Yeah.
because you know, like Jack the Ripper isn't gonna kill an entire city.
Mm-hmm.
This one though,
Yeah.
if like her basically clones that she's made with this virus keep doing this, I think it does feasibly get up to that level eventually.
Yeah, mainly because, like, if there is more of her, like, if there are clones, she can attack multiple SCP agent families or doctor families at once.
Yeah. And all of that on top of the fact that she's very clearly using a whole bunch of seemingly random people in these incidents as well.
Yeah.
Like she's not only affecting the SCP Foundation, she's grabbing randos and turning them into other people to engage in her sick joke against the Foundation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not cool, bitch. Just
Yeah,
leave the fucking children alone.
it's just like the most egregiously massive serial killer.
Alright, Jerry, you got the next one. I have no idea if this is connected to the SCP, but this is what Google gave me.
I'll look at it in 1 second. I am almost done drawing this picture.
That's
It's
such a good boy.
it's nicknamed Dog Days of Summer.
This is just a good boy.
2547.
Yeah, 2547.
But also look at its picture in
I
the
saw.
VC chat. Oh, okay.
It
Sorry.
looks like a gray wolf
He
doing the yawns.
is a good boy.
Item number SCP-2547, Object Class Keter. Special containment procedures. Due to the nature of SCP-2547, effective containment is not possible at this time. Towns determined to be susceptible to 2547 manifestation events are to be monitored via remote surveillance, and evacuation of the population is to be attempted if deemed possible. Towns undergoing an event are to be dosed aerially with Class A amnestics at the end of the manifestation event. Should I say what Class A amnestics are?
Alright, hold on, I got it. Give me a moment. Alright, Class A General Retrograde. While Class A amnestics so technically deconsolidate memories at random, they will mostly affect engrams with the memory reconsolidation window of 5 to 6 hours. As these are the memories that will be at the forefront of the subject's mind, this is especially true for highly unique episodic memories such as encounters with anomalous phenomena. While these will be the most effective after initial exposure, it's possible to reopen a memory reconsolidation window, allowing for amnestics officers to trigger and then erase specific memories long after their initial formation.
Alright. Nice. Description: SCP-2547 is a pack of approximately 4,000 different members of members of the family Canidae, which is basically include all the canines. All the canines. That's a good summary. But the footnote says including dogs, foxes, wolves, coyotes, jackals, and dingoes. And since it says includes, I'm assuming it means all the members of the family. More than those are just the easiest to say.
Yeah, it's the taxon that's just the dogs
Yeah.
and all of the dog's closest relatives.
My favorite one is doles. I love doles.
Doles are quite a vibe. We need more doles to be
Yeah.
recognized by people.
And we need them to be less killed because apparently
That
the
too.
countries they come from think they're evil because they live in groups and scream. Which is stupid,
Right.
but anyway, members of SCP-2547 do not need food or water. Any attempts to harm, kill, or tranquilize a member of 2547 will result in the rest of the group becoming hostile and aggressive. Members of 2547 can be separated from the group and detained, but will disappear the instant they are no longer directly being observed and rejoin SCP-2547. DNA testing has revealed that the members are genetically identical to human beings. What? SCP-2547 only manifests in rural American towns. Affected states include Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California. The town must have a population of less than 3,000 as well as a reservoir and a church. Manifestations will occur only between June 1st and August 31st, my birthday. For the duration of the event, local temperature will remain above 32 degrees Celsius and all local precipitation will cease. That's pretty easy for Southern California. The following is a timeline of SCP-2547 manifestation events. Immediately upon arrival, the town's power 4 a.m. SCP-2547 members form a border around the most densely populated portion of the town and block all attempts at escape. Attempts to enter a vehicle will provoke an attack from the SCP. 3 days after their arrival, all water in the reservoir will disappear. A male coyote wearing a leather coat altered to accommodate skeletal structure and worn wooden crucifix will appear. This entity has been designated SCP-2547-1, that refers to itself as Reverend. -1 is capable of both bipedal and locomotion and speech. Pastor Coyote. Time between -1 appearance and departure. -1 will take up residence in the local church and hold regular sermons 4 times a day. The sermons usually consist of diatribe on how modern society has forgotten -1 and siblings and how they have lost the ability to dream as they once did. -1 ends its sermon by asking if any of the members of the congregation would like to trade for some water, but does not specify what goods it would take in exchange. -1 will accept the following as payment: any kind of meat, pepper, flint, arrowheads, knives, whips, leather, burlap belts, the thorns of a saguaro cactus. I mean, saguaro, saguaro. Is that how you say it? Let me look it up very quick.
Oh no, I just find it funny that you're fighting with your own tongue.
Uh, uh, okay, I roll.
Saguaro.
Oh, saguaro. I was saying it totally. Thorns of a saguaro cactus, broken glass, lost teeth, ties, carved sculptures, the corpses of domestic cats, amber, canvas shoes, peyote, chewing tobacco, sexual favors, of course, sulfur, men's button up shirts, animal skulls, stories with SCP 1 as the protagonist. The latter appears to be a favorite to Dash 1, and the highest recorded amounts of water were produced in exchange for such narratives, followed by volumes of produced in exchange for sexual favors. Ah, god damn it. Dash 1 will store its payments in church and assign members of 2547 to guard the pile from theft. If the payment given is deemed acceptable, Dash 1 will regurgitate 60 to 120 liters of water. If the payment does not fall into any of the above categories, Dash 1 will transform the offender into a member of the Canid family who will then join 2547. These altered individuals do not appear to retain memories or intelligence from before their transformation. Departure 2547 and Dash 1 will remain until the next full moon after the initial SCP 1 manifestation date, upon which Dash 1 will lead 2547 away from town, using SCP 2547 to transport goods it obtained. An excerpt from Dash 1's speeches has been provided for reference. Oh man, how do I sound like the biggest douchebag in the world? Let me try.
Wait, I could do this if you want.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a sec. Let me pause my game. Okay. Give me a sec. Let me warm up, but I'm gonna mute to do it so that the reveal is good. Okay. You ask me, who am I? I ask you, where am I? I'm the beginning. There was the world, and the world was not. No, word, I'm sorry. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was not a word at all, but a howl. Howl. Very good. Very nice for howls. Where am I in the great, in the meat brain? Encased in bone, dripping with brine, sizzling with sparks? Where am I in your chemical soup, your woke chemical soup? Am I sacred? Have I been on the cross? Once I was woven into you, all your kind, deep in the pit of yourself from which you pull your wildest tales and strangest desires. I gave you the gift that saved you. I would have been your Eden. I would have tended you as a shepherd his sheep. I taught you all how to lie, and you thought the only way you gibbering sheep of apes survived is through deceit. You have forgotten me. You have replaced me with a serpent who crawls on the ground. 2547 stops and begins to sob. I give you stories. You worshipped me once, and now you're disgusted Heretic, you say. No, I am a martyr, like your beloved carpenter. You dare not look upon me for fear of burning in brimstone. So be it then. Let me be something that you would truly be repulsed by. You brought this on yourselves. You looked back as Sodom burned.
Man, he really is insufferable. You did perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Would you like to read his part in an interview with him?
Oh shit, we've got oh wait, we've got an interview with him?
Yep, I'll do the
Fuck yeah.
interviewer.
Okay.
All right. Interviewer, Agent Miller. Interviewee, Dash 1. Opening statement. Agent Miller has been stationed in the town of Redacted, Utah, which has been deemed at risk of 2547 manifestation event. Manifestation event occurred at June 12th, 2015. Agent Miller has been given 4.5 grams of amber and to last him for 3 months. He presented the gift to 2547-1 but requested information in lieu of water. Begin log.
Oh, how beautiful. And look there, a fly caught in the midst.
How fitting given our situation.
Ha, a sense of humor. Oh, I like you. Uh, let me just caress your face with my paws. I'm gonna kiss you. Mwah. No? Very well then. Now your water.
I happen to be well stocked in water for now, as it happens.
Hunting you. Perhaps it was good I didn't have you after all. You might have a little too much of me in you for me to properly to for me to for oh no, I think I'm having a stroke. Why does my brain just break sometimes while I'm voice acting?
It's okay. He's speaking a little weird.
You might have a little too much of me in you for me to be properly in you. It seems, pardon my pun, of course, I would have been highly embarrassed, but what boon do you seek of me?
I'd like to know more about you, what you want, why you do this, who you are.
Oh no. Oh no, this is a long one. This is a long one. Three questions. Oh, you do know Oh, you do know your myths. How delicious. What do I want? Has anyone ever dreamed of you, my beautiful man? I'll bet they have. If so, you'd never want it to stop. Now, why do I do this? To put it in your terms, I'm upping my publicity, of course. Yes, very good. The myth field has been taken over by hacks and milk toasts. I'd like my old hunting grounds to myself, but you can't spread legends the way you used to. Not anymore. Nope, nope. They don't spread like they used to. So my approach has had to be unorthodox as to who I am. Your kind knows me. All right, you know who I am. Not in the bits that do all your numbers and lines, but the parts of you that paint and sing and fucking leap. Fuck. A lot of fuck. Just all of the fuck. I am yours as you are mine. You know who I am, gorgeous man. All you have to do is look. Just look. Just look. It's right in front of you. I promise.
Dash 1 tried to get it in his pants multiple times. Oh my goodness.
I really like sex.
I think the fact that the guy was so dealt with the dash one weirdly turned dash one on, and I'm not sure how I feel. Dash one
Listen. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dash one refused to respond to any further questions and left. 18 days later, Agent Miller tried to get more information, but 2547 refused to engage in conversation on any subject except propositioning Agent Miller. He still wanted to sleep with him. Oh my.
Why is this goddamn coyote so horny?
Maybe he's just horny for Agent Miller. I mean, it sounds like he slept with other people, but it sounds like in this case he just wanted Miller.
You see, that Miller fellow? Great guy. Great guy. I'd invite him to my den anytime, anywhere. I love Agent Miller. Well, best man I've ever met.
This feels like this SCP is kind of like if the coyote from mythology turned into a cell, and it's kind of hilarious, but also dangerous. Following Agent Miller's return, Protocol Desert Grassroots was enacted, which consists of many-faceted multimedia campaign to produce narratives that involve SCP-2547-1 entity in some way. Projects created by Desert Grassroots include a series of children's books centered around modern retelling of Southwestern Native American myths and legends, a common street art design depicting a coyote wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses, using a crucifix as a pipe, an internet meme template character in advice animal format called Kinky Coyote, of course. A television show called Angels of Dust featuring an antagonistic cult with hedonistic beliefs led by a man calling himself La Trans. An interactive fiction game focusing around a pilot called sign Coyote 1 stranded in an unfamiliar planet after his ship crashed in a desert. Modern surrealist art exhibit at Boston Isabella Gardner Museum, which conveys a candid man hybrid's conversation in an odd religion. Ah, not that, sorry. The pieces are done entirely in wire sculptures and taxidermy. A collaboration album between alternate music Redacted, frontman of alternative folk band Redacted, and rap artist Redacted. The album makes repeated references to an entity called Canis, who represents their primal desires and fears which they must constantly push down and ignore in order to be civilized humans. Following implementation of Protocol Desert Grassroots, SCP-2547 manifestation events have decreased in the frequency by 30%, but Dash-1 no longer appears to accept stories as payment during events, resulting in a 15% increase in the average number of additions to SCP-2547 per manifestation. Was he really that pissed by Agent Miller not sleeping with him?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, he was. This is a nice guy coyote. He's gonna drop into your DMs with creepy asterisks roleplay.
Oh my
Oh, he
gosh,
would.
bookworm clipped. This SCP is really horny.
Well, he is.
He is very horny.
So I'm gonna say cities for this because it is attacking cities and taking away their water, which is
Well,
deadly.
see, that's the thing. It's talking about rural towns,
Ah,
which tend to have significantly lower populations. We need a town tier.
a new tier.
Town tier. Everyone princess. Uh,
Alright, so that's where it's probably gonna go.
yeah. This is just odd. This is odd.
Yeah.
I guess that this is like someone like taking a bit of Native American folklore that I'm not aware of and bringing it to modern day in the most internet fueled way possible.
Well, in a lot of Native American coyotes, while he isn't Jesus and he isn't horny, he does act as an antagonist or protagonist. He does good things, he does bad things. He is a trickster, and sometimes he does stupid things, sometimes he does smart things.
That sounds like
He, techni-
Loki.
he technically even pops up in some Eskimo lore.
So-
Sorry, Inuit lore.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that?
Yeah, sorry.